What's going on, Freedomers? I'm gonna shoot this kind of longish, shortish, medium video about the power of virginity and why you need to keep it as long as possible. So, the number one thing I'm learning about virginity or abstinence um, is the protection of life force. And because everything is run by life force and DNA, and I think especially as a melanated man, white people know this, the elites know this, and we do not. We just think sex and energy and DNA is something to play with, and it is not. It is a let me put this camera around. It is a highly important thing for you to understand as young as possible. When I'm a virgin, right? And not because I can't get some, not because it's not out there, not because I haven't chased it, which I don't do, not because it's not been presented to me, not because I'm better than folk, not because of the regular things. It's actually been pressed upon me, be like I'm a weirdo because I don't want it like most others, including from my own father. So one thing I had to learn is the universe responds to how you treat yourself. So the one area of my life that I keep very sacred is my exchange of sex, right? I don't care. I think that's the highest value thing in my life. I do not share my energy with just everybody. I don't care to give it to everybody. I don't care to give it to nobody who don't have no goals. I don't care to give it to nobody who don't know who they are. It's actually a high turnoff for me if I ask you what your goals are and you stutter. If you stutter and you don't know, then I don't know and I can't fuck with you. It's not about how I feel about you. It's not about how I think about you. It's not about you're lesser than me. You're just different. So I know I cannot exchange with you and you're going to give me something in return. You're going to give me a sexual pleasure, but I can get that from anybody. And I'm learning not to value things that I can get from just anybody. Like one woman I recently met, I really wanted to have sex with her because of the way she valued her energy. And it was such a turn on to me where I felt her energy and the boilingness of her energy because she kept it in for so long. And for 4 years, I think. And the number one thing I had to learn behind that was I felt it in her because it was in me. And the universe has been sending me these messages about the fact that I should keep my semen. Like November, a young lady that changed my life tagged me in a semen retention challenge, and I believe there's signs and everything. And the universe revealed to me again today in a message that for you to really explode in everything you do, you must keep your semen, meaning no porn, no ejaculation. That's my thing because I don't have sex with people, right? And I'm learning the power of not having sex with people and how different I am. Like let me give you a core reason. Like my best friend of 5 years where the friendship just dissipated, right? She stole from me, right? And the reasoning behind that is I let her into my Lyft account and she used it without my permission because usually she asked and it got charged. And I knew she didn't have any money because I asked myself a couple of days ago, if you had the money for that Lyft, you would have, if I told you about it, you would have paid me back immediately, like the day of. But I knew you didn't have any money, so that means you got my account charged, and I can't fuck with you now because you don't respect energy. You don't respect me and my sacredity if I let you in my doorstep. So I no longer can fuck with you because you don't respect me enough to do that. So, and I made my fair share of mistakes. I'm not gonna guilt trip myself about me making mistakes. But for my own protection of how I value myself, I cannot exchange with somebody who doesn't respect the decency of that type of love that you give somebody. So what I was thinking about today was, when I was reflecting on our relationship, how different we were. Like, every time I told her not to have sex, she was having it. Every time I told her, she had it some way, some shape, somehow. Every time I told her that, yo, you need to keep your semen, your you need to keep your estrogen. You need to stop exchanging your energy with people. Now, partially because she's been through many traumatic sexual experiences, her value in herself is that she must have sex to feel valuable, and that's not my thing. I don't care to have sex. It doesn't make me feel valuable because I'm having sex with you. I'm so interested in the mind, it's almost ridiculous. I'm actually want to learn to get more and more empathetic so I can read you faster, and without you manipulating me. I want to amplify my empath abilities. I can read you faster, dominate faster, and push forward. But I had to clearly understand that we were cut from two different cloths. And just that sex example, she was having sex, I wasn't, because I knew it wasn't. I knew I haven't met somebody on the frequency that I desire, that I crave, that my higher self craves, to share that with you. And she would have sex with people who would ditch her when times got rough. When she vibing real low in the shams. Now, I'm not a shamer of experience. That's okay. But I don't care personally for any experience, because I believe if you wait, you can attract females or males who will give you a high vibrational, orgasmic, beautiful experience that you don't have to go through Tom, Dick. And she wasn't fucking everybody though, but she was going through this nigga, and this nigga to do that. I don't have time for that. I like people I can have sex with when I do reach that place in my life and build with. I like the fact that I would love to have sex with people I can have sex with them and we can build after. I don't like to have sex with people who I wouldn't like to have sex with people I would have to, where we have sex and that's it. That is so boring to me, unless that's what we agreed on. Where I have sex with you and we're healing and we're having experience and that's it. I personally would love to have sex with people where we can have a friendship outside of this bedroom. So, because the sex just makes it understand that we were vulnerable with each other, so we have nothing to hide. But so what I had to learn is the power of virginity, on how different I am and my perspective, because the universe responds to how you treat yourself. So if you protect your life force, meaning if you're not focused, or you're focused on achieving and becoming more, valuing your energy, protecting your energy, loving your energy, knowing what's good for your energy, know what's good for your mind, you will live in no scarcity. And I think, and you understand, like I'm understanding the power of secrecy, because most people are on a low frequency, or they're trained to at least be on a low frequency. And because they're trained to be on a low frequency, you have to come on a thorough understanding that you can't tell everybody, yo, I'm a virgin, the first time we meet, unless you really ask. Unless he or she's really popping off at the fact that, on the fact that person is thoroughly coming for sex. And for me personally, I've even spoken to females, like the female I was just telling you about. She's like, yo, I had a guy like that, and it bothers me. Like, I don't like the fact that we can't do nothing outside of sex, or it's like, we can't really enjoy each other in other ways besides sex. Like, that's always the goal for him now, because of his Scorpio nature. That's one of the goals for him. At least his low vibrational Scorpio level. So I had to understand, but everybody has their needs. Everybody likes to, because once you open those floodgates of sex, I think you want it more, unless you really discipline and train yourself. And that's where I'm going in my life, where I gotta find exercises, and I really gotta get into training if I'm gonna go into this path of virginity and slash abstinence, because it's going to benefit me a lot more, instead of me just because sexual energy is so powerful that it's hard to express it in only one way, like through work and business, etc., etc. Like, it's good to express it through the gym. It's good to express it in breathing. It's good to express it in meditation. It's good to express it in many different assets, many different assets, that not only that it come back to you in investment, but also in ways that can benefit your growth. So one of the reasons why I might actually commit, no, I'm not actually, I have to make a decision before the year's over to really commit to no sex before marriage, not for religion, but for the fact that I don't care to have sex with everybody, or unless I'm in deep union with somebody. I don't want to have sex with somebody because of the fact of where you look good and all these fake facades. I really want to be in deep union and expressing that energy and emotion with somebody. If I were to follow through on sex, like, meaning we're in a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10-year union, and I decide to express myself in that way with you. But if you are so quick to rush to get my nut, or my energy, I don't care to express, or you're on the ride of emotion. That's why I must practice exercises on my own, so I'm not new. I'm not this is not a shocker to me, this arousal of energy, or emotion, more importantly. So one of the reasons why virginity is so important, because I've noticed this with men, with women. I've noticed it with how it affects their jobs, how it affects their marriages, how you don't value your life force. So when you don't value your life force, I'm not perfect by any means. I still watch porn, or whatever, soft porn or whatever. But I'm learning to actually shy more and more and more and more and more away from that, because it's energy draining. It takes from your chi. It takes from the chi that you could be using to grow yourself, to do things, to really flourish, because you don't do what you do. And learning about virginity is so important, is because it helps you understand the level that people are on. So when you understand the levels that you're on, meaning I started to understand, because my chi is so in myself. Me and my parents were different. We were extremely different on the fact that we didn't value the same things. But because I wasn't doing what society was telling me to do, I was on a thorough understanding that we didn't value energy the same way. So I'd rather be building an asset to bring me in income every single month, because I'd rather display my energy that way, instead of, because everything for me, like, one of the reasons why I couldn't get a job, because of my Virgo in my Virgo and Chiron in the second house, but also on the fact that because I value my energy, because I don't want to put my energy into something that doesn't really work for me. In the end, it's a booby trap. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, my friend was telling me about this Capricorn. My moon is in Capricorn, and she says, "Yo, I should be bugging with getting this job shit, because you get the money and then you blow it fast, because you really understand, like, it don't mean nothing especially if you really don't save, if you really don't build, if you really don't use the energy, the capital, the money in a proper way, it's bullshit. You end up broke again, right? So what I came to understand is, that you must value your energy different. You must value, and these are sticky notes to remind myself of things, not just to do's, but I ams and statements and thankful, gratitude, and all that stuff. But anyway, to put myself in an environment. But anyway, I had to thoroughly understand you must value it, because again, the universe responds to you how you treat yourself. So if you treat yourself with high dignity, if you treat your life force, because remember what I said, everything is energy. Remember that. Everything is energy. Not everything is energy. So if you treat your life force that way, eventually when you start to see like money is energy, you'll start to get your money situation together, because you know it is a display of your energy. You feel what I'm saying? So when you come to a thorough understanding of everything is energy, you feel what I'm saying? You stop putting yourself in predicaments where you have to compromise. Like, I'm so in my own virginity that I refuse to compromise, because I don't compromise myself. I don't compromise my own energy. So I don't feel like I should have to compromise with you because you don't have the discipline. Let me say it again. I don't feel like I should have to compromise with you because I don't compromise myself. So I'm getting to a point where the universe, because the universe sees my life force, it will cut people off from me. Or it will force me to make a decision to cut them off, because we are not vibing the same way. And if I go back to engage on that energy level, it will bring me down, like I did with my parents. When I moved out the first time, one of the hugest mistakes that I understand now was that I went back, because I was going back downwards into the energy that did not serve me any longer. So when I made a video about my parents, and I was like, yo, we don't vibe on the same frequency. And it was like, oh, you think you better than us and da da da. Nah, we don't vibe on the same frequency. We don't think the same way. We don't care about the same things. We don't see the world the same way. And not because I'm better than you, because I've held it so long that even both of my parents were not virgins by my age. I'm 23. My parents were having me at 21 and 19. So now I'm not saying because you have sex you value your energy less, but most of us are just having sex for the pleasure and not for the actual elevation of soul and frequency and beingness, etc., etc. But many of us don't clearly understand, because especially as melanated folk, the most highly sexual people on the planet, meaning we have the highest potency of sexual energy on the planet. That's why everything is made by us. We need to treasure it different, especially as melanated people. One of the reasons why society really puts on us pose, sex, drugs, because that's also in going outside, a God outside of you, because it will strip you of your energy, because you feel like you have to go outside yourself for what's within. Like, I was with my friend today, and she's a very beautiful woman, and I was like, what I admire in her and her beauty is within myself. That feminine energy that I love about her is within myself. So I have to treat myself the way I'd want what she is, and she is an external source of what's within myself. So when you start to step away from the world for a minute and you become abstinent for the world for a minute, you start to understand, like, yo, you have to you almost understand the world is a big illusion. And the last but not least, I'm gonna tell you this. The world is based, especially the Western world, is based on profit, not on purpose. So some of us are coming out of the shadows and we're making purpose profitable, but most of us are profit first, purpose after. So we'll go outside of ourselves for the profit, for the gain, for the etc., and the understanding that the purpose is where we need to be at. So, a lot of us don't care to ask, why are we here? What do we come to do? What do we come to be? What do we come to learn in the world, etc., etc. But even with the example with my friend, I understand she is outside of me. So yes, I would crave sex and she looked good and all this other stuff, but it's like that's so that's so that's so minuscule because I'm learning as a man. One thing, if you truly want to step into your divinity as a man, is you must strip yourself away from the over sexualization of a female, because it really strips you of what you can really learn and grow from being around the feminine. Like, you really miss out because all you think about is, oh, her titties, her butt, her face, she look good. That's a bonus, and I love that. I love beauty. I'm an Aries Taurus cusp, and I have a Taurus and Mercury, so I love beauty. I love it. But it's like, because of my Plutarian nature, it really makes me dive deep and say, beauty is great, but how am I doing? You know what I'm saying? How's her physical, mental, emotional health? You know what I'm saying? How's her finances doing? You know what I'm saying? And doesn't make me better than you, but most people don't question. Most people don't really truly understand the depths of sexuality and sexual energy and creative energy. Like, last but not least, Think and Grow Rich says a man becomes wealthy. Most men become truly wealthy after they harness their sexual energy, after they become sexually grounded, especially in the book of chapter of sexual transmutation, because they stop dwindling their energy everywhere. So when you understand that, you take your virginity a little bit different, and you learn to hide it from the world, because we live in a world where we value it at a high rate, but we don't really understand what's going on. So, because with sexual energy, you get into DNA and sciences of the body, etc., etc. So, I challenge you to stop having sex. I challenge you to keep it to yourself. I challenge you to stop trying to release, because a releasing can be a form of escape. To look outside yourself for something that you should be going within for. Am I saying I'm perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But here's what I will tell you. I will tell you that the universe responds, and I'll say this again. The universe responds to how you treat yourself. So when you are attracting, many people spend 20, 30 years devaluing their energy. So when they attract low vibrational men, they, cause even though it's out there regardless, you don't know why, because it started with habit. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all I'm gonna get into in this video. Make sure you go to @FaithfulToFreedom and you subscribe to. You follow my Instagram page and you subscribe. You click like, share, and share, and subscribe on this YouTube channel. And just click the bell for more videos. I'm finally starting to upload these YouTube videos and my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, because I'm in my own space finally. So I want to share with you what I've been learning in my path of abstinence, virginity. And I'm a virgin of 23 years. And again, it's not because I can't have it. It's not because I don't want it. Not because I don't like it. Not because beauty and sex and titties and ass and all that excretion is not feel. I don't feel it like any other man. But I know its value. I know people will pay dimes, will pay millions for it. They do it. It's just that it's external. You know what I'm saying? So, have a good one.